A very good evening to one and all present, and welcome to a brand new episode of VUTV by Vijaybhoomi. This is a series that is very close to our heart, for which we curate content on a weekly basis called Educators Speak, where we are joined by eminent educators and we have a discussion, we understand from them, give them a platform to share their enriching thoughts with us on, new trends in the field of education, the new developments that are happening in parenting, in the field of education, and all topics that affect the lives of the youth. Our endeavor is to create a platform, common platform, where we can bring together members of the youth, educators, and parents to talk about all these contemporary topics, new developments that are affecting the lives of youngsters, parents, and educators. Today is a very special episode that we have curated. Before I start and introduce my distinguished guest who's joining me today, I think this topic also is something that we've been itching to present to all of you for a while. We have entered the new decade. We entered this new decade with something that nobody had ever thought, which was the coronavirus pandemic. It has totally changed the way we see various functions in the world. If we talk about education, education has gone through a 360 degrees change overnight because of the pandemic. As we know, even before the pandemic, everybody was talking about the need for overhauling the education system in India, be it the the school education system or the higher education system. Then we had the pandemic that changed the mode of delivery of schools. Along with that also came the new education policy, which brought really marquee and landmark changes in the way we see school education. So this is definitely a time in which the state of the Indian school education system is in a state of complete flux. So today I actually was thinking that, we need to get together with, an educator with immense experience and diverse experience to discuss with them that how do we build a school in the new decade? Not only about building a new school, but now once we resume physical school, how should a school of the new decade look like? What are the things that need to change? What are the things that need to be brought in? Where is it that, there needs to be more innovation? And I don't think I could have been joined by a better personality than Dr. Rashmi Tyagi for today's talk. I mean, I was just discussing and chatting with ma'am, and, if I have to say, she is such an inspiring woman educator that I have met. I constantly keep looking for inspiration from, fellow women colleagues in the field. And I've drawn so much inspiration from her. And what a story she has. She's done her PhD from the very famous IIT Roorkee in the field of chemistry. She has taught at the University of Bombay. She has an academic experience which is spanning over 25 years. She's a CBSE master trainer. She has written research papers in so many diverse areas like chemistry, environmental sciences, rural urban farming, innovative technology, pedagogy. I mean, if there's one person who has mastered so many different kinds of trades, I think that is Dr. Tyagi. And when I was discussing with her right now, she's also adopted, the role of as an advisor and as a change maker for so many different schools. So it's not only the conventional role that we are looking at, where a person is just attached as a head of school or principal of one school, but under her wing she has taken so many schools and brought so many changes. Thank you so much, ma'am. It is truly our privilege to have you with us this evening, and thank you very much for giving us your time to join us today.
Namaskar.
We are so happy to have you, ma'am.
First of all, I will like to, just extend my gratitude to you because you have talked so good about me. And thank you so much for that. And we are in education. And I feel that this whole world is one family. And that way, now it is an opportunity which is given by Kritika to me to interact with, people, with the society, with the world on a very good subject like education. And in today's, this decade, I like the word which Kritika has introduced. First time I have heard about the decade. We were talking about the 21st century. But today I have heard the decade. And at this time, I want to tell you, as I'm training the teachers for last 10 years, and when I was starting my training, then I used to ask them, please let me know what was happening 10 years back. Then I was asking them what is happening today. And then I was asking them what will happen after 10 years. And to my surprise, the 10 years, last 10 years and the present 10 years, fine, they have, taken the shape before our eyes in the given time, like 10 years. But this future 10 years, they have come overnight. A paradigm shift has taken place in the field of education. And it is not theoretical, it is very much practical. That, in this decade, 20, you can say 21, it has got everything new. And to my, surprise, I will say that people have accepted it. The students, the teachers, they have accepted this change throughout the world. And the educators and the teachers and the management, they are, trying to run the education as per the demand of the 21st century and 2021 decade.
Correct.
Now, because overnight the changes have taken place, the parents are trying. The parents are trying to adjust. We should give, more counseling to the parents for this new world. And now so many new things are introduced. Like even the teaching learning systems have changed. We had the traditional teaching learning long back when I was studying, and when my daughter was studying, it was different. It was chalk and talk method of teaching learning, the lecture method. But now this method has changed. And how it has changed? Because digitalization of education has taken place. The e-learning has come, and lots of computing is there, and robotics is there, and so many new things are coming up in the classrooms. Now we are having different types of teaching learning methods, like we are having augmented reality, we are having virtual reality, we are having coding, and we are having, this robotics. So these things have brought about the changes in the teaching learning system. So the method of how to learn, it has changed. The blended learning has come, So the blended learning means that mostly the people say that it is a blend of the classroom teaching lecture method and the online teaching learning. But I say that it is the blending of life skills, and it is the blending of arts with the science, with the languages. So what I feel that right now, the major change which has taken place, it is the integration of art into the education. I will not say into the science, integration of arts into the education, because everything is art. How it is art? Because when we teach the child how to think, there are different types of thinking, creative thinking. So creative thinking is an art. Art is not only the drawing of some figures, even, just expressing something with the poetry, with the drama. It is an art. And how the science is expressed through the art, that our scientists have taught us, last 300 years, the new discoveries have taken place, and lots of hypothesizing, imaginations, and all these things have happened. So the art is already there in the education, but we are realizing it now that the art is there. Like when we were studying in our classes or we were teaching the students, so we are saying, okay, this is science and this is maths, this is SST, this is English language. So we were just talking like that. But today we find that art is everywhere. In all the subjects which we are teaching, we are having all these life skills, art, and a new concept has come into the education right now all over the world. And especially now we are trying to introduce the educators, the CBSE, the NCERT, and even I want to say the universities also. STEAM. Now the STEAM, it is very easy to understand. First it was STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths. But now it is STEAM. Only art we have introduced into this acronym. And even now, the third stage has come where STREAM, it has become STREAM, where reading is introduced in that. So when I'm contacting some people from the big universities, IITs, NITs, I'm talking to my colleagues who are working there, my relatives who are working there. They are telling me that now corporates are asking us that what is the emotional quotient of the students? Apart from their scholastic area, how much co-scholastic they have done, how many events they have organized, and what is the other result, co-scholastic result. Because we want the people who can connect with others, who can be unstressed in the stressful situations. So now all the transformations which I have discussed with you, the blended learning, the hybrid learning, the augmented realities, and all that, and integration of art and science has brought about such a change that in any university, if I will say that it is only engineering university, it will be incomplete. When I say the humanities are there, the music is there, the designing is there, and maybe some other psychology, such subjects are together. So then only we'll say that it is a complete university. So as the topic is there, that what will be the form of the, this decade, these 10 years, what type of, teaching learning should be there from first to the university level. This is what I'm telling. It is not only the school level, it is not only the junior college level. I'm talking of the university and it is a fact. And, these robotics, it has come very much into the picture because I have heard that air taxis will be there. Yes. And then we'll have the loops in the air. Correct. So that less pollution will be there. And so many new things have been added, so the students have to learn robotics also. And I think in this university, this Vijaybhoomi University, when I visited this, I found and I was delighted to know that like we have got engineering branches, here we have got robotic branch. Correct. And it has got a wonderful future. I will not say not only the future, but everything is going to be based on this. And the robotic surgery is there, robotic army is there, what not? Because 10 years back, we had a conference in which I had given the article Pros and Cons of Robotics and Ethics of Robotics. So 10 years back, we were talking of that, but today that dream has come true.
Reality.
Because you have introduced that subject. So this is, I mean, I have given the overall, the transformations like that.
Wonderfully put, ma'am. I think you're very beautifully encapsulated for us, what are the kind of changes that we're looking at and what is the real context of it. Makes a very, very big difference. So I would definitely want to ask you, ma'am, because, we have a lot of educators who join us. We have a lot of parents who are joining us. So I'd like to know from you that in your experience, you are so well aware of, how the world is also changing, how technology is deeply penetrating now in our lives. What are the essential requirements for a school in today's day and age? Like, what is it that necessary? Like, if parents are looking at admitting their children in a particular school, or it's about educators who are establishing a new school, what are the check boxes that one needs to tick mark for making sure that the school is very much producing relevant students, like for changing times?
Okay, and that's a relevant question. And then I can tell you, right now during this 1 year. So during this 1 year, so many changes have taken place that we have to reimagine the schools, their infrastructures, their teaching learning system and everything. And for that, I will say that infrastructure has to be changed. And we have to go beyond the classroom doors. That is very important. Lots of activities for the students. So when they are in the school, of course, a playground should be there. A very good playground should be there because health and hygiene is very important. And then all the classes, they should be equipped, with computers and all, because the digitalization has come to that extent in this decade. And the classroom not only for method, simulations should be there in the class, because we were discussing today, suppose you want to give experience to the students that how aviation industry it works. So then you have to bring everything to the class. Maybe you can take them to a room where they are telling you about how is the plane and how do you, what is the engine and how do you start it, how do you fly it. Just by reading you cannot understand everything. And then one thing came to my mind, like we are sending people to the outer this thing, like from Earth to Mars, maybe to the moon. About the moon we know. I had seen the moon rock also that time when they had we were children that time, so we had seen. So then you should have that, you feel that the weight is very less in that against the gravity and all that. So that experience, why don't you give to the students? Why don't you take them to such a place where they can feel that? And then not only that, you give them opportunities to take up, the projects. Instead of this rote learning, it is already out. The rote learning is out. And, everything is written in the textbook. So you have to go beyond the textbooks. So you have to ask them to do the research projects, give them topics like astronomy, and in physics also something new, how to make the robots, for a different purpose. Even I have heard many ladies during pandemic, they have bought that for cleaning the,
robo cleaners.
Robo cleaners. So many of my friends, they told me that they are using it. So what I'm telling, that students should make such projects.
Correct.
That the robots which can help. And then as you have mentioned, in my biodata that I am doing, urban farming.
Right.
And that is aquaponics and hydroponics. So such things the students do in collaboration with the parents. You can have, all these plants, terrace plants and all that at home also you can have. I'm not going to go into the details, only the name I am telling. So you should give to the students such facilities in the school where they can have such projects. Maybe in a garden, they can have the garden, the terrace in the metro cities, and they can have agricultural thing in their school. So that way, and well equipped labs. And as I told you, that they should have simulations like, aviation, and maybe, when the gravity is not there, how they feel, and maybe a NASA project, and maybe a room, where like a planetarium, we have got solar system and all. And then already we have the laboratories, science, biology, and chemistry we are having, but that I have added. And very good music rooms they should have, because they can learn better when, somebody is expressing it through music. Then the children enjoy a lot, and make the poetries also while learning. So the art is there. So I think lots of training for teachers also is NEP is there.
Correct.
So lots of trainings we should give to teachers, because we are talking of so many transformations. So when we talk of transformations, then we should train the teachers. And as I told you, we should have lots of collaboration with the parents, because in case they will not understand, then we cannot go further. So that, yes. So that should be the, infrastructure. I've told you so many new things, simulations.
You're right, ma'am. I mean, I think these are some very important check boxes that you have actually highlighted to us. One is, I think you're absolutely right when you're saying that the focus has to be on experiential learning. This is what now the schools have to be headed towards. Like, either you create those experiences for students in school itself, or take them to those kind of facilities where they can experience. The other thing is experiment and learning by doing. Like the research projects that you're talking about, then let them innovate, let them invent something, let them make things on their own. Because when they will do it on their own is when they will absorb the concept better. Plus, if they're doing a project of that nature, they'll get to apply that theory in practice. Obviously, that takes the learning to the next level. Then the third is, I think, research. And research is something that I think everybody is talking about today. If you see in terms of higher education institutions, also in this year's budget, you have something with the National Research Fund that's been set up, where, we're wanting to improve research at a higher educational level. But that is one part of it. The foundation is being set in school. So we have to actually inculcate research in school itself. So I think, and even this fourth top thing, which I absolutely like, and I think you're the first educator who's talking about it, which is, implementing principles of sustainable living in school.
Yes.
I think that is very important, because the kind of climatic changes, global warming changes that we're going through, I think everybody is talking about the need to be more connected with nature. So when we introduce principles of sustainable living at a school level, the kind of lifestyle impact that will have, that is what is going to help us make the world a better place. So I think that's a fantastic output that we have from you on this particular question. And I would really urge all educators and parents who are joining us today, please reflect on these thoughts and see in your little ways how we can implement these changes in our institutions or in our homes. So, ma'am, since you have been a master trainer and you have, been training so many teachers over the past, 10 plus years, as we were speaking and as I was also making out in your responses, the roles of teachers are also changing in today's day and age. So, when you have head of school administrators who are looking for, faculty to join the school, what are the sort of qualities that we must look for in teachers today, so that, they can be great, educators for our children, they can be great enablers of education for our children? So what is it that in your experience do we need to look at, and what are the sort of capabilities that a teacher of, today should have?
Yeah, that's also, a wonderful question, because we were always thinking that what should be the role of a teacher in the present situation. And I used to ask this situation that, to the teachers, that what do you think that what will be the requirement of the student, why they'll be needing a teacher when the knowledge is just press a button away, and all the knowledge they are getting from the different sources. So why they are going to need you people, why they are going to need the teachers? So then a direct answer is facilitator. The teacher is going to be a facilitator for them, and the teacher is going to help the students to learn, and the teacher is not going to teach them as such. The teacher is going to teach them how to learn. So we have to teach the student how to learn in different ways. And here I have to use this technical term, Bloom's taxonomy. And in the Bloom's taxonomy, we teach the teachers that you don't have to teach them directly that you learn this, you learn that, but you teach them more how to analyze something, how to take decisions, and then how to create something. So in Bloom's taxonomy pyramid, at the top, we have got creativity. So we have to teach students the creativity. And as Kritika, you have told me that the students have to do these research and all that. So while they are doing the research, we have to help them. Let them do more activity. Where the student's activity is more than a teacher's activity, there the learning is more. So we have to be with the students. Suppose I always say that take care of cow. So when we take such a topic, then we say that you tell the students that the cow gives us milk, and with the milk we get butter and all that. So the small children can make some poetries on that, and the parents can prepare some good food, some mithais and some other things made up of cow milk. And then they can read very good stories about the cow. And then the digestive system of cow is very different. And then in SST, we just worship cow, not only in India, in Egypt, in Greece, and in many other countries, because she's so much useful. So as you say that the trees and the environment should be saved, so that way we'll say look after the cow, because people say save the tiger. So I asked one boy that how you're going to save the tiger, just 4th standard boy. He said we should plant more trees, we should have more forest. That was a very good answer. But then it is so easy to take care of cow because she gives us so much. So the teacher should be with the student, the parent should be with the student. So the child will learn. Even the cow urine is like a medicine, and cow dung, it is also a cleaning agent. And so that way we should come with the teacher should come with the student, take them to the Amul factory, maybe ask them to make some slogans about the butter and all that. So the whole integration of art and everything takes place. So even they can make a beautiful painting of Yashodama churning out the butter. And there we can teach them centrifugal force, how the butter comes out from the milk. So we can go so much into the details, and we can work with the students. And so the teachers, they have to, give the emotional, support to the students. Parents are in the offices. So where the child is going to talk to whom? So be a friend for the students and let them play. Let them enjoy the music. Let them have a drama instead of, teaching them about, Madame Curie or maybe about Rutherford and all those. Let them have a drama. And in that drama, the scientists are coming in different, just fancy dresses. And they are talking about that what discovery they have done. And even in the chemistry, the periodic table, the element is coming out, like carbon is coming out, and Black dress talking about. And then allotropes of carbon diamond in a flowing dress, like a fairy, and the diamond is talking about. So these kinds of, artistic things, methods, even I will say that in 11th, 12th also, there is a haiku method where the science is taught in Japan by writing poetry sitting near the nature. As you said, that we have to save environment, we have to save wildlife. So that way the teachers have to change their methods of teaching, learning, as I told you, augmented reality, and they have to take them for excursions, lots of excursions, and the projects in the schools, and let them attend the conferences where the models are required. And I talk of Indian Science Congress Association. There, the Kishore Vaigyanik Sammelan is there, and the Prime Minister always inaugurates it for last 107 years. And this time it is in Pune, in Symbiosis University. So we have to do all these things, So teachers have to give them, emotional support. We have to teach them critical thinking. We have to teach them the social, skills also, emotional skills.
Ma'am, I think a beautiful point there, and I think this is so important because I remember I was having a conversation about this with somebody that, sometimes children struggle with, mathematics concepts or science concepts, physics concepts, chemistry. So I said that, why can't we never explore the idea of teaching these concepts through our surroundings and our neighborhood? For example, there is so much that one can learn in the kitchen.
Right. Chemistry also in the kitchen.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, this is so relatable. It suddenly puts the child in a different, environment. It takes off that pressure that they have, especially when a child has reached a roadblock, mental block that, I'm not getting the concept or anything like that. To take them in a comfortable environment, in a different environment, and then actually teach them a concept by showing it to them.
Right. Experiential learning, you said.
Absolutely.
And here I want to give you one example. Sorry to interrupt you right now. In a class, the teacher was talking that what does a bird eat? Everybody was giving very good answers like grains, and maybe the chilies, maybe the fruits. But one child, he said, the birds eat cow. And the teacher was shocked that I've never taught him this thing. And how he's talking, she was really shocked. Then she called the child and she called other teacher also. They asked him, why did you give this answer? Then he said that every day from my window, I see the carcass of the, cow, and the birds are coming and eating, big birds, eagles are coming, and then crows are coming, and vultures are coming, peacocks are coming, and they are eating the cow. So now tell me, who is wrong and who is right? The child is learning from his experience. The teacher, or maybe in the textbook, whether it is written or not, that some carnivorous birds are there, and then they eat all this. So this kind of experiential learning, as you said.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. So, before, I see we're running out of time, but I have to ask you this one question before we close today's conversation is, now that we've spoken about what schools must be teaching, what kind of teachers must we have, I must also ask you about what kind of learning spaces should school be now, like the way they're constructed, what kind of facilities that they should have. So if we may, get some of your insights on this particular aspect.
Okay, I've seen your university and I liked it. And I've seen many other universities, IITs. So mostly, I think that Shanti Niketan style of teaching, learning in the lap of nature, it is wonderful. And then you can have whatever you want. You can have your labs, whatever, inside, people are having indoor badminton courts and all those things. But I think, along with that, we should have lots of nature near the students, because you can have very good computer labs, robotics labs, and science labs. But the classrooms, they should be they should have lots of natural light, and especially the library. You can imagine it is a place where they should enjoy. So you can have some indoor space in the library. You should have some outdoor space also connected to that, maybe a terrace with a, suppose it is on third floor or fourth floor, your library, then you can have extended terrace and you can have plants over there. So I think that with every possible 21st century equipments, you should have lots of nature.
Absolutely agree with you, ma'am. I think, nature is a great teacher.
Right.
And, also, Jenny, the mental space that one gets into, while you're amidst nature, the way you're able to relate to concepts. And also, I personally feel that it offers a very idyllic environment for learning. So definitely, I think I agree with you. So a lot of the educators and parents joining us, especially the educators here, try to incorporate as much as you can, natural sunlight in your campuses. Try to create as many outdoor spaces which can be used for learning and teaching for students. There's a lovely idea that was shared by ma'am earlier to, have gardens. Now, now gone are the days that you only, only people who are blessed with areas could have gardens. Now you have vertical gardens that are also coming up. So, that can be also a good way of, making nature part of the life of students. So I think these are some very practical and some, insights that I'm sure each of us can, perform in our very little way in our surroundings and in our institutions. With this, I come to the end of this episode. Dr. Rashmi Tyagi, it has been such a delight to be conversing with you. And I'm pretty sure that each of my audience members have also learned so much from you from this conversation that we have had. And it was truly a delight to be speaking with you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. And all the best to all of you. My blessings to you. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Really, there's so much that we have gained from you. A big thank you to all our viewers for joining us on a weekly basis. It is your encouragement that keeps us going and, motivating us to bring new content to you every week. We'll see you again on next Thursday at 5 p.m. where we'll be discussing another topic related to education. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you on next Thursday. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time.